welcome to Advice with Prince. I'm Prince. Today, my guest is a man that has many jobs. He's a stunt performer, a production manager, a stage manager, and a production assistant at Taipei Studios. Welcome, Walter Hendrix. Walter, how are you?
I'm fine. How you doing today?
I'm great. So, Walter, how did you get your start in the business?
Uh, how did I get started? It was fine. I got laid off.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was working in corporate, and I always wanted to do something in this industry. But when I was in college, I went to University of Alabama, and at that particular time, there was not a whole bunch that was going on in the South as
Yeah,
far as things in the production. So I chose the safe way, which was to become, I was a police officer for a while, and then I went into corporate for a while, and ended up getting laid off in 2009 when the economy crashed,
yeah,
and couldn't find a job. Obviously, nobody really could at that time. So I was like, hey, why don't I go ahead and give this a try? And so what I did was I started working as background, working as extras on the limited TV shows and movies that were around. And just from there, I moved and kind of saw that I wanted to be behind the camera as well. So I will still get in front of the camera, but get behind the camera as well. And got my opportunity on a few smaller productions, and then just moved forward from there, just making contacts to get in.
wow. So, so getting fired kind of helped you out a little bit.
I don't know. I always tell people that the way I did things doesn't necessarily work for everybody else, because everybody
Yeah,
has their own path. But for me, when I was doing background work, obviously you're not going to get rich doing background work.
yeah,
So I mean, if you're lucky, you'll make enough money to be able to pay your bills. Not much else, but you'll make some money. So what I did was I used working as an extra, and a few of the little principal roles I got here and there, and also some stunt work here and there. I used the time on set to talk to people who were there, who had connections, or who actually, would move up from there. They ended up doing that. Was one of the things I learned early on, was that you don't know who you're talking to on set. The person you're talking to who's an extra today may be a director tomorrow. So you just kind of make contacts with people, and that's the way I did it. And then people would start. They would get out onto the sets, and then somebody would say, "Hey, we need this, or we need that. We need a production assistant. We need somebody to help out with grip or lighting and stuff like this." And they'll say, "Hey, I know this guy Walter. I met him on set. He was pretty good." And then I would go work it.
yeah,
And one of the big things I did that a lot of people that I see a lot of people frown on right now. When I first got started, I did a lot of free work. Probably about 90 to 95% of the work that I did outside of working background, which I did do that for free too, but outside of that was free, just making contacts. And then when people moved on to bigger shows, then they came and they said, "Hey, come and do this. Now we can pay you."
yeah.
So
But it kind of all paid off at the end, like now.
it,
But
it you got the grind. It's a
yeah,
grind.
yeah, you have to grind to get
Yep.
to get to the place that you want to get to. So
Exactly.
tell me, how how it has been a stunt performer, because you put up a video that I follow you on Instagram, and you put
Yeah.
up a video of you like falling from the roof, and you had like a crash pad. Like
Yeah.
how how do you how it's how
How do I do it? I'm crazy. No,
You really are.
you have to
You
you have
really
to
are.
you have to be a little touched to want to do stunts and jumping off of stuff. But I've always, even when I was younger, I used to jump off of buildings and all of this stuff just because, and I wasn't getting paid for it at all. I just do it. But you just gotta have to put your fear aside, and I always tell people this. I see a lot of people on YouTube doing crazy stuff. Make sure you have someone who knows what they're doing. Now the videos that you see me doing, there I got some with me setting myself on fire, falling off the roof. I just posted another one yesterday where I was on American Soul a couple of days ago. Um, but you make sure my when I'm there doing stuff, I always have a coordinator with me. So when you see me falling off the roof, there's a stunt coordinator who is right there, and they make sure that what you're doing is done safely. Don't just
Mm-hmm.
go out and and jumping off of stuff and nobody's there, and nobody really knows what they're doing, because that's a sure way to get hurt. And I just want to make sure everybody knows that, because these young kids nowadays, they'll just go out and do it. They'll go and mimic what you're doing,
Yes.
and they end up getting hurt. So
So
always safety first.
so please, like Walter said, look, Walter is a trained professional that gets paid to do that. So please don't be like jumping off the roof because Walter did it. Like no, he knows,
Exactly.
and like you said, he has someone there to
Exactly.
pursue.
Don't be setting yourself on fire. Don't be getting
Yeah.
hit by cars, jumping
Yeah.
off of stuff. If you don't have somebody who is there, who is trained
Yes.
to be there, preferably a stunt coordinator who
Yeah.
can make sure that everything you're doing is done as safely as possible.
Yeah. Cause Walker, like you said, he's a little crazy, so
Just a little bit.
it's a little bit. Okay,
I'm
so
not crazy enough to do it by myself anymore, though.
yeah, anymore. Oh Lord. So what's the craziest thing that has happened to you while performing?
Well, I don't even know. I mean, it's all crazy. Um, as far as, I mean, I haven't done like a whole bunch of stunts on big time stuff, but I mean, I've done uh, prior to me joining SAG, I used to do stuff for people in their productions, uh, and I found out that the safety wasn't there, and I broke my thumb in a fight scene because I hit a
Oh,
wall. Yeah, because it wasn't set up properly, and I hit a wall and I broke my thumb. That was the last thing I did that was not uh, with a real coordinator on set. Because had the coordinator seen what was going on, they would have stopped it. So that's probably crazy. Crazy is doing stuff and not really being prepared to do it. That's
okay.
probably what crazy is.
Okay, so okay, so basically, as long as you have like a real stunt performer, you should be pretty much okay for the most part.
Yeah, yeah. You should. If you have a real stunt coordinator with you, and even to an extent, if you don't have a stunt coordinator who is there, if you have other experienced stunt performers, because I do stuff with a lot of stunt performers who are there who have done way more than me. So they'll give you pointers and make sure you're doing stuff safely as well. But I honestly prefer to be with a coordinator, or at least somebody with a whole lot more experience than me,
Hmm.
just to make sure. Because if you don't, like I said, you can really get hurt or killed doing some of this stuff.
Yeah.
You can get it can happen even when you're as safe as possible. It just
Hmm.
definitely can happen when you're not.
Yeah. Yeah. I've heard stories and yeah, it can get very bad. So
Yeah.
I'm glad that you are. taking the precautions and like I said, the audience, we telling the audience to always safety first, put safety first. Um, yeah. So Walter, I think Walter has like the coolest job. And I say job would have because he has like 1,500 jobs. He does like all kinds of stuff. I don't know. I'm so curious. So what I want to know is tell the audience what you do and what's a day in your life going to Tyler Perry Studio.
Well, okay. Well, at Tyler Perry Studios, I'm a key production assistant. I've been doing that. I've been at the studio itself since 2014. So almost 6 years.
Okay.
In August, will be 6 years. I've been the key production assistant since January of 2017, and what I'm waiting on now. If anyone who does the production assistant route knows that your next step is a second AD. I've
Oh,
done second
really?
AD. Yeah, yeah, and I've done second AD work on other productions, low budget productions and stuff like that. But I'm working on my DGA membership right now. I'm just waiting on my book to be approved by the DGA. So that's where I stand with that. But my job right now is I go into the studio when we get ready to film. Normally I'll get maybe a week or two of prep. I go in, I make sure that everything is running the way it should as best as I can. I help out the first AD who's there and any second who's there because the first AD, especially at Tyler Perry Studios, because we run a little different than anyone else.
Yes.
Your first AD and your first AD has a lot more work to do than a normal first AD anywhere else because first AD there is prepping for every episode of every show that we do, and he doesn't have another first AD helping him out. He does have seconds there, but they're also really busy, so he needs someone to kind of be able to fall back on if he needs something. So that's what I try to be there, and then of course we have the other production assistants, which depending on the show, I mean we can have up to 20 or more PAs there at the studio, so you have to be able to deal with the personalities, delegate what needs to be done, make sure everybody's doing their job and getting everything prepared. Because once we start filming, we're rolling
Yeah.
and we roll fast. If you've never been to the studio at one of our productions, then you can't really appreciate it. And just as an example, you go to other studios, and I'm not downing anybody, I'm not knocking anybody else, but most studios you will do somewhere between 3 and 8 pages
Yep.
per day,
Now,
and
Mr.
normally about
Perry.
an average. Yeah, normally you'll average about 5, somewhere in that neighborhood. Uh, we've Last season we averaged about 105 pages a day. So basically, we've shot almost a movie in a day, and we have done that. Our record is 144 pages in one day, and when I say that, I don't mean like an 18 to 20 hour day. The 144 pages we did in 10 hours and I think it was 36 minutes or something like that of actual filming time. So we move, and it's just a well-oiled machine. So and personally, me, I think it makes you better when you step out. Some people knock that, but I think it makes you better when you go to other places that don't move as fast because you're used to thinking on your feet a lot more and moving faster and solving problems quicker than you do anywhere else.
Yeah, because I've been to the big studios in LA,
Yeah,
the Paramount and the Warner Brothers, and like I haven't really been inside TPS Tyler Perry Studios, but I've been in Atlanta and we've driven by the lot, which is a big lot.
yeah,
The Moses lot, and then although the entrance where you got the waterfall and
Yeah.
LED. It's a wall, so I know how big it is, and also me being in the business and my friends, I know how hard and how fast you guys work.
Yep.
It's yeah, compared to Hollywood, Mr. Perry and everyone else there, you guys work crazy amount of you do a crazy amount in one day. Like you
Yep.
said, one day for you guys is like a whole week or maybe 2 weeks for Hollywood.
Well, no, it's more like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
We we have actually filmed, I want to say 3 movies. It may have been 4, but 3 movies in less than a week.
Yeah. A
And all Fall from Grace. No, did we do a Fall from Grace? No, I think that was a little over a week. That may have been 7 days or something like that. Let me think. No. You're right. It was 5 days. We did that one in 5. We did Boo in 5 and a half, and we did Boo 2 in 5.
Yeah, cool. Cause when Mr. Perry says he was doing press and he said, yeah, no, this was hard. In some days, you could see everyone's face be like, how in the world did you pull it off? But he had people like Walter that make sure basically when Mr. Swinton or Mr. Perry walk on set, everything is done.
Exactly. When you're director, and it's not just him, but especially him, but when any director walks on set, the set should be ready. You should be ready to roll right then. Directors shouldn't have to be waiting on anything. That's anybody, but especially there because of the way we move. Mm-hmm. And I just want to add this right here too, because people talk about you really can't shoot a movie that fast and it be quality and all this stuff. Well, if you look at Boo and Boo 2 that we filmed, both of those movies went to #1 in the box office, and the first one, Boo, was #1 3 consecutive weeks. The Fall from Grace had, I think it was 26 million viewers after, I think, was it 3 weeks or something, or I don't know what the final viewing was, but it was 26 million.
It was a record number. I know that.
Yeah.
I don't have the number right there, but it was a record, and that's all because of the teamwork, which is
exactly
really big. Okay, when we come back, Walter is going to tell us about tour life and how he moves this big show from day to day, from arena to arena. Don't want to miss it. We'll be right back.
Passion, romance, sex, sin, pain, and death. Love unexpected. When you think you know your partner, think again.